Prime Minister, thank you so much for joining us on Euronews on what has been a very important week for your country, of course, in terms of your history, the celebrations that you held this week, but also the EU Western Balkans Summit. You say 28 by 28. Will Montenegro join the European Union in basically less than 2 years?
That's what we hope for, and that's why we are here. I think we could showcase Montenegro to the world. I think we've done a fairly good job looking at the faces of all the European leaders who attended the EU Western Balkan Summit, and I think they could enjoy the weather, if nothing.
Oh, well, the weather, you're in a nice weather here. But I have to ask you, in your conversations that you had at the summit, and this was a big moment to bring the leaders together and the Western Balkan leaders, what was the mood in the room? Did you really feel a momentum beyond Montenegro for the region itself?
Absolutely. I think the momentum is definitely different from the previous times, and I think we definitely see, that everybody's hopping on a boat called a unification of Europe.
Does that mean the entire region? Of course, Montenegro, you have a very clear roadmap of where you want to be in less than 2 years. This is very tight. Specifically in your case, you've been doing a lot of reforms very fast. It is clear you want to hit this deadline. Is it because it matters for Montenegro, or also because you wonder and perhaps fear some of the elections coming up from the member states next year? It's not guaranteed that unanimity, let's say in France, if there's a change in government, will be that clear-cut.
But I think primarily because we want the benefits of the membership as soon as possible to the Montenegrin people, and that's the clear reason number one. And I think Montenegro has a lot to offer to European Union, and it's like oftentimes I say Montenegro is like a little sample, like a little cookie of Western Balkans. If you can take the cookie, and if you like it, you take more.
And that's you mean it will be manageable, and it will be perhaps that the rest can follow.
Exactly, and Montenegro is also Western Balkans, or Balkans in general, in a small version, because we have, apart from Montenegrins, we have Serbs, we have Bosniaks, we have Croats, we have Albanians, we have all of these ethnicities around us present in Montenegro in significant numbers, and then we find our path to get together. We found a way how to live together in peace, in prosperity. So, I think we can add a lot of value.
And is it important that your neighbors also make progress? And at this particular summit, France and Germany talked about a sort of structural, now gradual integration to the bloc. It's clear you want the full thing. You want membership. But for your colleagues, is that a path forward?
It's difficult for me to say what is good and what is not good for other countries, and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable to the member states. That's up to them. But I definitely would love to see, and Montenegro is somebody who has biggest skin in the game to get the whole Western Balkans.
Why?
Towards the West. Because as I say, apart from Montenegrins, we have 30% Serbs, we have 20% Bosniaks, we have Croats, we have Albanians, we have all of these ethnicities who live in Montenegro. So having the surrounding countries also move along the same path is because of that kind of structure of Montenegro is also a benefit to us, for sure.
And we're seeing the very tight security that you had in this summit. On that point of security, I do have to ask you, however, this week it was a successful summit, but going into the summit, it seemed there was a sort of diplomatic incident perhaps with Serbia. Aleksandar Vučić, the president of Serbia, said he was unsure whether he should come, pointed perhaps to a hybrid threat. Based on the information that was there ever a threat? What happened?
So, this is chapter 24 that we are implementing as we speak, and obviously security and of all the participants is extremely important for us, and that was the case like in the incident that you just mentioned. So we have absolutely nothing.
There was never any threat.
No, we have nothing against any of the regional states. We love them all. We want to see them having fantastic bilateral relations with Montenegro. So we are pretty certain that European future awaits all of us, and that we can be even better friends once we are in EU.
But just to make this point clear, there was never any concern, there was never any threats, because these were big statements that were made by the Serbian president. You say this did not happen. There was an incident with some plane with Serbian nationals that was returned. All of this, you say these are separate things.
No, what I say is that there was a security incident that happened in the Montenegrin airport with the passengers coming out of Serbia. But, as I say, our security services acted very professionally.
in a great manner, and I congratulate them for all what they've done. Our NSA, our police, our services. So to ensure the absolute utmost security to all the participants. That's why we had the highest level of security being active at the airport.
Which was definitely clear also on the streets. This week there was also an important breakthrough on Ukraine. Finally, there's a path forward for both Ukraine and Moldova by extension. Do you welcome the new dynamics around the Hungarian government? Obviously, this is an EU context, but you want to be a member. So is that something that you welcome?
We support Ukraine, and we want to see Ukraine as well, like progress on the path towards prosperity and the peace. And Montenegro is here to help, if anything. But again, I cannot speak, or nobody from our side can speak as a representative of the EU. So it's difficult to say anything about it. But again, we are very happy to see that there are positive signs towards Ukraine as well.
And just finally, the EU membership used to be seen as a political partnership, as an economic. Certainly, the single market is incredibly important for the economy, for this country. For many countries, it has been transformational. But there's now increasingly a defense and security component to this. How much do you worry about the situation because of the war, potential threats too in the Balkans, interference? How would you define this moment with the drones that we've seen also in Eastern Europe? How would you define the level of alert now for you?
Absolutely. Everybody, many people were taking security and safety for granted. And, we woke up in the world that we live in now. And I think it's very important that we invest in defense and we invest in all the security capabilities.
And you're a NATO country for our viewers, of course.
We are a NATO country, and, we are investing significantly now in our defense capabilities. And, we are working very closely with all of our partners in tackling all the possible threats and potential threats.
And just finally, we see now that the Europeans are planning direct talks with Russia. It does not guarantee that there will be a peace deal, but is that something, again, as a member, you say you want to be at the table in less than a year. Is that something that you'd say, any effort to end the war, direct talks with Russia as Europeans, if needed, we do it?
Obviously, nobody can say anything against the peace. You would love to see the peace as soon as possible, and we would love to see just peace, or like the peace
that's important for you.
Satisfactory, yes, for Ukrainians as well. So we have to keep the Europe again very focused on its on the security threats that are they're coming from various sides these days. You see that we have energy crisis as well. We have many other issues that we have to tackle as a continent. So united Europe is the answer to all of these concerns and issues.
And you have a year of big reforms ahead, but you say you can hit that deadline. So we'll be back potentially in a year in the final stretch.
Yes, in 2024, when we first announced that we want to close all the chapters by 26, nobody believed us.
Said no way, yes.
Said no way, that's too ambitious, too crazy. But now people say, okay, it's becoming more and more realistic. And I think, everybody's slowly falling in line. So I hope that we see the tangible and real progress of Montenegro in the months to follow.
Well, Prime Minister, thank you so much. And thank you, of course, for hosting us in Montenegro. Highly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and pleasure is all ours.
Thanks very much.